Trivia Druzia. Hello, friends. It's me, Catherine Ivers Norton, the author of The Stain, for our 8th edition of the Facebook Jail Sessions. Today is November 19th, 2021. And when we last left the newlyweds, Cassandra was in the laundry room with Slava Velkov getting frisky, and Sergei catches them. He is not pleased. He blows his top. So it's a very long night for them, but in the end, he honors that deal that they made on their honeymoon to always make love, especially when they fight. And if that had a profound effect on Cassandra, who feels validated that he loves her even in her humanity, even though she made a terrible mistake that she feels awful about, that he still loves and accepts her anyway. So it was a very deep level connection for her, and she's more in love with him than she ever has been before. That deepened it for her profoundly. So let's continue. I'm going to take it from the top of chapter 8, Caught in the Fur Trap. Checking on them the next day. I woke to see Sergei enter the room and set a tray on the table by the 2 chairs. The midday light streaming through the windows burned my eyes. "Good afternoon, Sandra," he said as he took a seat. I sat up in bed and gave him a sleepy smile. "Come while it is still hot," he requested. A teapot and 2 bowls of hot oatmeal with fresh berries waited on the tray. I wrapped myself in a robe and sat down in my chair. "Thank you for bringing me breakfast. I'd like to do this for you, but you are always up before me," I finally spoke. He nodded slightly to let me know he heard, but he did not comment. I didn't feel like eating, but the oatmeal was good. The wholesome food untied some of the knots in my tender stomach. I should have eaten something instead of drinking the Jägermeister last night. Thinking back over my drinking career, I couldn't recall Jaeger ever having been a good idea. Jaeger isn't medicine. What was I thinking? Never again, I promised myself. "About last night," I started. "No," he said firmly, "I do not want to discuss it." We silently sipped the black tea. When the cloud finally lifted from my mind, I noticed Sergei staring straight ahead at nothing in particular. He appeared lost in thought. His face wore a sad expression and his eyes seemed softer than usual. "What are you thinking about, Seryoza?" I asked gently. He broke from his reverie with a shake of his head and looked at me. He was on the verge of tears. "My mother came to me in a dream," he said. "I was so young when she died, I'd forgotten what she looked like, only that she was kind. My father destroyed all of the photographs after he buried her. I had nothing to help me remember." "Oh?" I asked. My heart broke for him. I couldn't imagine what it was like to lose a mother at such a young age. "She had long hair like yours and gentle blue eyes," he noted. "My mother was the kindest woman I have ever known. She was very spiritual, like an angel. It was a gift to see her. I do not want to forget again." His eyes glossed over and tears began to roll softly down his cheeks. My heart ached to see him weep, but his fragile beauty in expressing such tender emotion moved me. He wiped his face absently with the back of his hand and continued. "She came to comfort me, and her sweet expression told me everything would be okay. In her hand, she held an Orthodox cross. She opened her palm as if she wanted to give it to me. She said one word before she disappeared." He stopped speaking and his expression went blank as he seemed to be reviewing the vision. Perhaps he was trying to burn it into his memory. I waited. Finally, he looked at me with a sad smile. "What did she say?" I gently inquired. "Surrender," he replied. Surrender. How would you interpret that? Surrender what? To whom? Why would the first vision of his mother since he was 5 years old and he witnessed her death say surrender? This is a good question because I'm a writer. I don't even know the answer to that question. So I'm just curious to see what you think. So feel free to drop it in the comments or, contact me directly. I'm just curious about that. All right. So I feel kind of sad reading this because I know Sergei's back history and I know how much pain it was for him to see her with the other man. And I also know that she had a lot of pain from, confronting her own human weakness. She didn't intend to stray. She didn't intend to be in the laundry room with somebody else, and certainly not get caught in the act doing that. It was bad judgment all around. And she's a psychologist. She really ought to know better, right? But on the other hand, she's human. She lacks experience, and she's not quite prepared for that stuff. So, so here we have two kind of like flawed people who are in love, trying to work through this and trying to have a relationship. And at the same time, these dramatic moments for Sergei help him recall his past history of trauma and those embedded things. Like, not many of us remember what things that happened when we were 5 years old, but don't you think that they're still in there, that they made an impression and they're still in us on an unconscious level, like shading our experiences of things and coloring the way we interpret events. And that's something really deep. It's deep psychology, but it's also healing to have negative life experiences where these things kind of rise to the surface, where we can say, oh, I reacted really poorly to this situation. Why did I do that? I mean, we all do this, right? So those dramatic, painful experiences can be very fertile ground for growth, and that's it. I can't speak too much on this. I mean, I think we'll cut it off there, and I just want to leave you with that, appreciation for the good, bad, and ugly in life, and just all of it. It gives us a colorful experience, a well-rounded experience. And if things were going great all the time and there was no problems, we wouldn't change much, we wouldn't grow. And for what it's worth, all the bad stuff does give opportunity for self-awareness, self-understanding, and forgiveness of ourselves and others. So that's what I want to wish for you today, is to have a sincere appreciation for the traumas and the disappointments in life, and that may they help us all transform into more loving, compassionate human beings, and that's my wish. So I hope you have a beautiful day. I won't be doing this tomorrow, but I will give you 2 on Sunday, because I have my big event tomorrow, and the books came on time, so I'm very happy. And so I'll see you on Sunday. All right, have a great afternoon. Bye.